the public. I'm not sure if we've got any media here. Yes, welcome to our annual general meeting, Monday the 15th of December. Before we start, I would just like, out of respect to the families and the victims that have at the Bondi Beach terrible incident, that we stand for a minute's silence, those that wish to stand. Thank you. Okay, our attendance is, we have one apology. Table of contents is as is. Acknowledgement of country. We acknowledge and pay our respects to the Tasmanian Aboriginal community as the traditional and original owners and continuing custodians of this land on which we gather today, and acknowledge elders past and present. I now have a welcoming address that I would like to read. It is my pleasure to reflect on the achievements of the Northern Midlands Council over the past year. In 24-25, Council progressed numerous projects of varying sizes across our municipality, demonstrating our commitment to enhancing infrastructure, community engagement and sustainable growth. A major highlight was the official reopening of the Longford Memorial Hall in September 2024. Already a popular venue, it successfully hosted the second annual Illuminate program, uniting students from across the Northern Midlands in a powerful youth-driven creative collaboration initiated by the Northern Midlands Business Association. The NMBA have been invaluable in promoting economic development through programs and projects that have contributed over $2.5 million to the Northern Midlands businesses and the local economy. Planning for stage 1 of the TransLink intermodal facility is underway. Immediate investment is enabling infrastructure, gas reticulation, electricity upgrades and railroad connections. It's essential to support construction and attract future private investment. These foundational investments are essential to support facility construction and build confidence in the precinct's growth potential. Upgrades to the Victoria Square Village Green in Longford have provided an enhanced space for outdoor gatherings and events. The upgraded barbecue area has been well utilised with successful events such as the Community Pacific Festival, which celebrated our Pacific Island and Timor-Leste seasonal workers, and the Scots Day Oot, featuring Highland dancing and pipe band performances held in February 2025. A particularly proud moment was the hosting of Her Excellency, the Governor of Tasmania, Barbara Baker AC, at a civic reception on the Village Green, following her tour of the Northern Midlands. This tour showcased our region's rich heritage and innovative community initiatives, including the Evandale Community and Information Centre, Ex-Hemp, Missiondale and Escley. Key stops also included the Ross Village Green, the Midlands Arboretum and the Species Hotel Sculpture Walk, and Taswater's Floating Wetlands Project, reinforcing our commitment to sustainability and cultural preservation. Education and housing remain key focus areas. The Governor's visit to Campbelltown included the District High School, where students demonstrated hands-on learning programs, and discussions on an affordable housing expansion initiative to support growing community needs. Council successfully delivered its annual footpath program, improving pedestrian safety across the municipality. Specific projects included the crossing upgrade at the Campbelltown District High School, Littleton Street, Latour Street and Pakenham Street in Longford, and Wilson Street in Cressy. Stormwater and drainage improvements were a priority, enhancing flood mitigation efforts. Major road upgrades included Ashby Road, which has been graded and now is finally sealed. Additionally, the approach to Woolmer's Bridge was improved to ensure reliability during flood events. Our focus on community resilience led to the establishment of the Powattina Evacuation Centre and procurement of additional equipment for the Northern Midlands evacuation centres. Solar and backup battery installations at the Longford Town Hall are underway. Other key infrastructure developments included a new RV dump point in Cressy, which will help promote tourism for the town. The expansion of the Ross Men's Shed is key to supporting social connection, supporting better mental health and skills sharing among residents. Local sporting clubs are integral to our community, promoting physical activity, inclusivity and social cohesion. Council has actively supported these clubs through key infrastructure improvements, such as the completion of the Perth Junior Soccer Field, including goalposts, nets and irrigation. Construction of 4 new basketball netball courts in Ross, Longford, Perth and Cressy. Installation of new play equipment, toilets and barbecue amenities at Laycock Street Park in Longford, creating a safe and inclusive space for families. Council remains committed to a long-term strategic plan in alignment with the Northern Midlands Council Strategic Plan 2021 to 2027. Over the past year, community feedback was incorporated into draft strategies for Council's consideration, including the Napoleon Street Playground consultation, Yule Road closure and reserve planning, the ongoing significant tree register review, and the Pioneer Park Master Plan development. Additionally, new strategic initiatives have been developed to further guide Council's strategic policy, a weed management strategy and climate resilience strategy. 2024 and 2025 have been a year of successful community events and celebrations. Council was proud to host and support citizenship ceremonies, welcoming new Australians and fostering a sense of belonging. The Pacific Australia Labour Mobility Community event, recognising our diverse workforce. Australia Day celebrations, honouring outstanding citizens and volunteers. Iconic cultural events such as the Scots Day Out, the Veranda Music Festival, the Penny Farthing Championships, Longford Blooms, Cressy Trout Festival, racing and cycling events, as well as truck and agricultural shows across the municipality. Volunteers play an important role in supporting Council through their participation in community events and community groups. The Council also acknowledges those dedicated to emergency services. On behalf of the Council, I would like to express our gratitude to all volunteers for their dedication, time and commitment. Northern Midlands Council is devoted to retaining young people in our region by fostering local career pathways and strengthening connections between education and industry. Through education bursaries and the Illuminate program, we support students and schools in their learning and employment endeavours. Our youth officer continues to assist young people, supporting mental health and wellbeing through a variety of activities and events. I would like to sincerely thank our council management and staff for their unwavering dedication in achieving these milestones. Their hard work ensures that our community continues to thrive. I'd also like to extend my gratitude to my fellow councillors for their commitment and support, which enables the Northern Midlands to remain a leader in regional growth and development. Together, we continue to build a stronger, more connected and a prosperous future for all. Thank you. Okay, do we have any declarations of interest?
I would like to declare a perceived conflict of interest in 6.2 and 6.31.
And I need to declare interest in some of the, I'm not sure which ones as they come up, the new questions and motions on notice.
So that's 6.3.4.
Okay,
So, Mayor, excuse me, are we just talking about the annual general meeting at this stage?
at this stage, but we do have questions on notice that are able to pose, questions without notice, as well as the questions on notice, and we also have motions without notice. Yes.
Just for the AGM at the moment?
Yes. Confirmation of the minutes of the annual general meeting held Monday, the 9th of December 2024. Can I have a mover and a seconder, please? Everybody who was there, Councillor Archer and Councillor Andrews. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Public submission to the annual report. Okay, we've got a recommendation there, and we need a mover and a seconder that the submission be received. Councillor Goss and Councillor Adams. All those we don't have discussion on the submission, do we? Can if you wish. Yep. No discussion on the submission? Okay, I'll put that recommendation. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Councillor Terry, come back, or he's got to go straight into this. We did say 6.2 and 6.3.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, he gets those out. And there's no.
And we don't need
motion for
to,
that.
we
It's
don't
just
need a
resolved
motion.
resolved to receive.
I don't need a mover or seconder to resolve to receive the questions. Okay, the questions are received and the answers are there. In the agenda, yes.
Accept the annual report. Exactly.
Oh, where's that? I missed it, sorry. We haven't got a motion for the annual, we've only got that the submission be received.
Have you got it on yours?
I've got it on my screen.
Hang on,
You look-
This one.
it's not gonna work. Yeah, that's the. Okay, rightio, a decision. We resolve to accept the 2024-2025 annual report, so we need a mover and a seconder for that. It's not in our,
Printer.
no. Councillor Goss? So- Yes, he should be back in for that. Yes, sorry. That's not in our paperwork, our printed version. No,
That we discussed this morning.
it wasn't on my online version either. Okay, we are now looking for a mover and a seconder to receive the annual report.
Point of order. That's an urgency motion, and there is an item within the agenda to deal with urgency motions later on. Motions without notice. There was no notice given of this.
It wasn't in the agenda.
It's not in the agenda.
True.
Okay,
Was everything clear?
Can I come in?
Yes, you can.
I guess there's a admission from the agenda, and I think we should receive our annual report.
I have no problems receiving an annual report, but in the appropriate time, which is in the agenda.
motions without notice.
That's good.
No, we can do that.
That's fine. So now we're going to go on to the questions. We haven't done the questions. Well, we sort of.
Just have clarification. Councillor Terry's just come back into the room, so he mightn't realise where we're up to. We're just putting a motion to accept the annual report. We haven't got.
Yes, but it wasn't in the agenda as
That's
specific.
okay. We just need to do that later.
Yeah.
Councillor Terry will need to go out for 6.3.1.
Okay, the following questions, the questions which are in the agenda were received from Mr Jason Horton, Devon Hills, and the answers are there, so we don't even need to resolve to accept them. Okay, so we just move on. Councillor Brooks,
Do we read those out for the
No.
benefit of people that are listening on in,
it's on the agenda, it's in their agenda, so we don't have to, it's not up to us to read them out. What?
have we read
I
out
lost
last
mine.
year? Well, they read out last year.
No, I lost mine.
The same provisions as the council meeting, which was,
Yes, yes, the same provision as council meetings, we don't need to read them out.
Could you repeat that, please, Mayor? I
It's the
didn't
same
hear.
provisions as for council meetings, and we don't need to read them out. We don't read them out for council meetings. Okay, now, I have to find them up to- yeah. Gone forever. Okay. Yeah. Questions on notice? Well, that's more questions on notice, okay, all right. Yes, yeah. Okay, questions and motions without notice. We have some. Doesn't matter which order we do them. No, all right, for this one, we can do number 2 here, so maybe the deputy needs to come in and answer
oh,
for number 1, because I've got an interest.
yes, questions.
The questions first,
Questions?
yes. So aren't there more than that for without notice?
I've got two
Yes,
motions.
there we go.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, then motions,
yeah,
okay.
there's the motions.
Right, so I'll move out.
Only
for
two questions, yeah.
Yeah, I can move out for the first
I
one.
need to declare conflict of interest because it comes from.
And I need the deputy mayor and the chair. And I'm going to take that.
Do you want that up or?
I think the deputy will need it too. Okay, question 1.
Let's type it up. We've got a minute taken to type it up first. So we'll read it. Because it's still needed. Question 1. Without notice? Yep. So, Jason doesn't put through the questions in, but the mayor's got an interest in the first one. So you can ask Mr. Horton to ask his first question, which we're putting up.
So we have a question without notice from Mr. Horton. Mr. Horton, would you like to read your question out, please?
So council states in the answers to my questions that we scrolled through, that the cost to council relating to the personal defamation in the Supreme Court matter amounted to $110,641.20 of ratepayers' money. Was the $110,641.20 repaid to council by the plaintiffs, being the mayor and the general manager? Did the council seek to recover the $110,641.20? And finally, if not repaid, who made the decision and what was the reasoning for not recovering the amounts?
Mr. Horton?
So the answers to those questions is, the first dot point is no, the second dot point is no, and the third dot point is council was not requested by the Supreme Court to provide those costs, and council has not requested the mayor or general manager to repay.
Thank you, Ms Britnell.
So can we bring the mayor back into question two?
I'm not sure if I need to pick it.
Ask the first question,
Yes.
so you can ask him to ask the second question. Have we got it here? We're just putting it up as he's talking.
Okay, so Mr Horton, you wish to ask your second question?
In the independent advisors report made public in May 2025, it stated, by far the most concerning matters identified from this review is in regard to relationship breakdowns between respective parties. The relationship breakdown manifests behaviours that could be described as bullying, harassment, constant and ongoing demands for information, legal action and code of conduct complaints, and a general feeling of sense of dread amongst many of the staff. Irrespective if how good or bad governance arrangements a council may be, without a strong, respectful working relationship between council, councillors and the general manager and senior staff, the organisation will not function well and the Northern Midlands Council will be the losers. Northern Midlands community, will be the losers. What steps has the Mayor taken to develop respective relationships between councillors and the General Manager in order to improve good governance?
Obviously, that's a detailed question, but I can advise that Council has adopted or and amended policies. It has provided training to all staff on some of those changes. And most recently, Council has adopted the Lift the Tone campaign, which is pushing out across the organisation.
And the councillors have all been invited to training, which some councillors chose not to attend. That's it? Good. Right.
So the two questions, now we have the
Now we've got the
motions.
motions. This one here, okay. Yes, Councillor Chair can go back in. Oh, actually, no, not this one. We'll do this one first. And I need to go out as well. Oh, sorry.
Submit his motion.
Mr Horton, would you like to submit your motion to the meeting, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
So the motion is council states that the costs to council relating to the personal defamation in the Supreme Court amounts to $110,641.20 of ratepayers' monies. The motion is that the council seek legal investigation, what actions can be taken to recover the council costs, ratepayers' money of $110,641.20.
Thank you, Mr Horton. Do I have a seconder to that motion?
Very Goldsworthy.
Thank you, Ms Goldsworthy. Seconder to the motion. Mr Horton, would you like to speak to your motion, please?
Yes, just very briefly. The action taken to raise personal defamation has been ruled by Justice Marshall as follows. Payment out of council funds for private purposes of councillors and council staff is illegally and arguably corrupt conduct. Had the action not been taken, there would have been no cost to the ratepayers of Northern Midlands. To expect ratepayers to fund this action appears to be unreasonable and not in line with community expectations.
Thank you, Mr Horton. Ms Goldsworthy, would you like
I just feel the same way. I mean, there's money outstanding and I'd like it looked into and get it back. We could do a lot with 120,000.
Thank you, Ms Goldsworthy. Any other
Any,
speakers?
or any other
Are
speakers?
there any other speakers before I put the motion? All right, I'll put the motion then. Sorry, Mr.
No,
Wood,
no,
would you like to
fine.
sum up?
No, I'm done.
You're done? Okay. All right, I'll put the motion now. All those in favour? Yes, we'll probably need,
Yeah, you need to cut.
sorry, yeah, you'll need to show your cards. Do we have someone count?
7.
What about council?
What about councillors? No one voting?
Do we vote too?
Yeah, if you're elected. 8. Oh, 9. I think there's another hand up there without a card.
Just leave our hands up if you would mind.
but I can't.
That's okay.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
And those against the motion?
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Got 8? Oh, 9. Didn't see you. 9?
Yep.
Yeah. And
So the motion has been passed.
Against. 9 against.
9 against, 12 for.
Yep.
So motion has been passed. Thank you. Is that the only one
No,
for me?
that's, yeah, you can
I
vacate
can
the
go-
chair and I'll get the mayor back in. And we'll stop the timer.
And councillor Terry?
Yes, the council chair can come back in as well. So you ask
Yes, Sue.
Sue, yes, she
Would you like to put your motion forward, Sue? Just state your name and.
Sorry, I'm Sue Field from Perth. The Northern Midlands Council has requested to approach the state government with a view of securing the Old Perth Police Station and residents for a community hub in Perth. It would include a tourist centre, museums, meeting space and a community garden for the Perth community.
Thank you. So you're putting the motion. Do you have a seconder?
Seconder?
I'm happy to second.
Councillor Horton seconding. Do we do as we do in all ordinary meetings?
Yes, she gets first.
You get first speak? Cool. And then you're able to sum up.
Okay. Look, we have people here, obviously a number of them from Perth, and we're all here either from the Perth Lions Club, the Perth Progress Association, or the Perth History Association, plus other members of the Perth community. We're here to once again speak to the council about the Old Perth Police Station and residents. We have given workshops and meetings and presentations to the council over the last 2 or 3 years. Despite these presentations, there is no reference to the project anywhere in the 24-25 annual report. Only a reference to the old Longford Police Station being acquired as a neighbourhood house or community hub. The population of Perth is growing rapidly and it will be bigger than Longford in the coming years. It's about time to move the focus from Longford to Perth before it's too late. We need to plan ahead. I acknowledge the work that has been done on the streetscape, the recreation grounds, parks and pump track, but none of this provides a community hub for the residents and for bringing tourists into town. Perth needs the tourists to boost businesses and encourage new businesses to open. Community hub will provide tourism and business promotion, early history and heritage with museum spaces, activities for children, family, older residents and the community other than sport. There will be spaces for art shows, music events, library, technology, garden and cooking classes for members of the community doing it tough. The possibilities are endless. The last time we presented to council, we received a letter back from council, from Mary on behalf of the whole council. And it says, from the whole council, I'm writing to express our strong support for the application of the Perth Police Station to be repurposed as a community hub. We recognise the significant contributions that community hubs will make to the community and the positive impact they have on the residents' wellbeing and social cohesion. The community hub can be pivotal in supporting mental health programs, promoting a healthy lifestyle and developing skills. The council fully supports the use of the Perth Police Station as a community space. The Northern Midlands, particularly Perth, is anticipated to experience significant growth over the next few years. We believe that repurposing the building aligns with our vision for a vibrant and thriving community, and we wholeheartedly endorse the efforts of the community organisations that are working towards this goal. And that's where so hang on.
Mr. Holmes, you wish to speak.
I understand there's a surplus of 7.8 million in their budget. Surely there's enough there to purchase the old station, police station and residents and support the growing Perth community. So on behalf of the people of Perth, I put that to you today.
Our seconder doesn't wish to say anything.
Yes, I will. I just say that Perth actually is on the poor cousin in terms of Longford in what they get, and I think council actually should come to the party and look after all of the citizens of the municipality and not just one town.
Is there anybody else who wishes to speak for or against that motion?
I support the motion that's been put forward by the representative of the Perth District Committee.
Thank you. And does anybody else wish to speak for or against the motion? I will put the motion, and you need to put your hand up to support the motion.
With card.
Oh, yes, with your card, sorry. All those in favour of the motion? So we need to count.
8, 9, 10. 21.
21. Is there anybody against the motion? Motion's carried.
Oh, that was easy.
Oh. That's all the motions on notice now?
So now we'll put the annual report.
Oh, yes. Do we need a motion to, that's up there, there's an emergency motion to put a motion that should have been on the.
Just without notice.
Yep, okay, motion without notice that we accept the annual report. Councillor Goss, Councillor Adams. Any discussion? Councillor Terrett?
I've determined whether the speaker would like to speak. Councillor Goss.
Fine, thank you. The Mayor gave a pretty good address about the what's happened in the last 12 months. So I'm quite
Courtesy to you, Councillor Goss.
And I will ask the seconder then. Would you like to speak, Councillor Adams?
I think it's been said in your summing up of the work, Mayor.
Councillor Terrett.
The annual report is a very important report for this council. It's our report card on the council's performance, strategic processes, financial health, the risks and service delivery over the 12 months going to 2024-25. The council is financially stable in the short term, strong asset base, no borrowings, and $17 million in cash investments, creating a buffer for to escalating deficit. We've achieved many things throughout the 24-25, and some of those, unfortunately, have to go into 25-26. And it was a pleasure of mine to go down to Ross Community Shed only a couple of weeks ago to the opening of that. We've also have the Youngtown to Brett Orban cycle and walking track, which is hopefully due to commence sometime in the next 6 months. And these type of projects gives life back into the community. And everything from sporting grounds and equipment, it's what the council is meant to do. However, there are some red flags in our report which unfortunately have not been addressed, either through the General Manager's report or the Mayor's report. Most concerning of this is the council ran at a $2.6 million operating deficit for the 24-25 year. For the 25-26 year, it's $1.1 million deficit that we're budgeting. I raise that because it's important. It's important how we move forward. We look back at the last 4 years. We've run deficits for the last 3 of the last 4 years. We can't continue to ignore the fact that council is running a deficit, a real term operating deficit budget. We've been fortunate to get grants, and I congratulate those who have applied for the grants on some projects. That grant money won't last forever, and unfortunately, as we've seen with tightening economic situations, grants are becoming rarer and harder. So now we need to take some real action in the coming years. Otherwise, we'll see an increase in rates. We need to look at building contingencies, such as our reserve funds, and exploring ways to broaden our rate base. The expansion of residential areas such as in Perth will assist to that. And because if we don't acknowledge the fact that we're running a deficit budget, we will see increase of rates. And there is an answer to one of the questions which says that rates will increase by 3% over the CPI for the next 4 years. If we assume that the CPI is around 3%, that's 6% each year for the next 4 years. That's a 24% rate increase, which we could be facing. That is quite a gloomy thing that we need to consider. And yes, we've done some good things in the past, but this is about also looking forward and looking at how we can be more productive. It's looking at things such as what is really costing us as a council. We've had a large amount of deferred works, which has meant that many of the expectations of the community has been not realised. And those deferred works mean that we don't provide the assets and the facilities that people want. Often they're not being explained or communicated to the community. And we must have a system where we are looking at communicating with the community much better than we have in the past. To solve things such as, and I raise quite regularly, honeysuckle banks. I think from the first time I came to the council, I've been raising it, and I acknowledge Councillor Lambert, who's also been raising it. I just want to see the first sod turned on that one. There are numbers, and I just highlight that particular one. There's also concerns about the increasing employee costs. In order to provide service, we do need to have good employees and pay them appropriately. But we also need to see if increasing the number of employees increases productivity and return to the community. We should be looking at things like shared resources and look at regionally and how we should move on. We also need to be transparent about all our activity. And it disappoints me that we didn't have any comment anywhere in our report about the independent advisors report, which looks into the governance of the council, nor have we looked at was there any mention of the unfortunate defamation case, which cost the...
You're going to be bringing that up, I need to leave.
That's it, all I'll be saying. That was not mentioned in the annual report. It is concerning that councillors don't have a training program. Training has been raised in a number of areas, both through the Code of Conduct panel, through the independent advisors report, and our failure to upskill councillors is something we need to address in the future. I raised some concerns. I also acknowledge that council has achieved a few things, and we need to continue to achieve things for the people of the North Midlands Council. It's not good enough just to sit back on our laurels and the successes of the past. We must look towards the future and how we can financially be sustainable.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak to the motion?
I'll have a go because I think that was a fair bit of rubbish.
No, be respectful, please,
Order,
Councillor.
order.
Excuse me, I've already called that. Please be respectful.
The mayor's role.
Please
It's
be
the mayor's
respectful.
role.
You can speak now,
Well,
Councillor.
respectful too.
Excuse me, Councillor Brooks. Councillor Adams, you can speak.
Thank you, Mayor. The deficit has only been, we've got no debt. We just had a speech about how bad this council is. This council isn't bad. This council financially...
Excuse me, no, excuse me, Councillor Terry, you've had to say. Excuse me.
Correcting a comment.
You've had to say, Councillor Terry, Councillor Adams is having his say now.
And so we need to be respectful of the books. The Auditor General of the State has done the audit of this council. And other than minor things which you would get in any council or any books to be sorted out, are being sorted out. There's no major issues with finance, as was indicated, was to try to build this.
Please be respectful.
Because people have got people here around the council table to say, this is terrible, this council is a dreadful council, and this this indicating that's going on to try to say
Be
that
careful,
everybody's
please.
terrible and everybody's corrupt. You hear this word where people are saying these things. Quite dishonest that a councillor's or a councillor would make those sort of comments.
Point of
and
order.
those points.
Point of order.
Yes, please be respectful and don't
Okay.
talk about other
I'll
councillors.
withdraw.
Yes.
And so I believe that we should not be belittling the council. This council has done a lot of things. We can always get better. We can always do a lot better. I think our annual report could indicate more of the things that we've done. Set our KPIs of what we're trying to achieve and what we haven't achieved. We should be saying those things more as well, so that we do keep it transparent and open as much as possible. But, you know, this thing that's going on in the community to try to say that the council's a dreadful council, that there are people here that are dreadful sitting around this table, that's untrue, unfair and unjust. And there are people that are running that argument in the community, and they are dishonest by doing that.
Thank you, Councillor Adams. Councillor Goss, you moved the motion. Do you wish to sum up?
No, I'm fine, thank you.
I'll put the recommendation. All those in favour? Against? Councillor Terrett's against and Councillor Brooks is against. The motion's carried. Thank you. We've come to the end of the... Yes,
Have
absolutely.
we done 6.3.2?
Yes, that was in the questions on notice, yes.
Thank you.
Yes. It's now time to close the meeting. I need a mover and a seconder to close the meeting, please. Sorry? Oh, we don't close it?
We don't need a mover and seconder.
No, we don't need a
No.
motion.
All right, close the meeting at 5:42. Now, find the other one. Yeah, no. Okay. Welcome to our ordinary, thanks Hugh, our ordinary council meeting, Monday the 15th of December. Thank you. I'll declare the meeting open, 5:43. In attendance, everybody except Councillor McCullough. Table of contents is as is. Acknowledgement of country, I need to say it for the meeting, do I? Oh, well. We acknowledge and pay our respects to the Tasmanian Aboriginal community as the traditional and original owners and continuing custodians of this land on which we gather today, and acknowledge elders past and present. Do we have any declarations of interest?
Yes, I have declaration in relation to 5.5 determination report, Councillor Terrett versus Councillor Lambert, Councillor Terrett versus Councillor Andrews. Closed council meeting, pecuniary interest 3.5.1, dispute resolution, Councillor Terrett versus General Manager, and perceived conflict of interest in relation to 3.6.1.
Enclosed.
Enclosed.
Procedural.
I've got
Yes,
one
yes.
here as well.
Yes.
14.1, overhanging trees, I have perceived interest.
And I also have 5.5, Code of Conduct Panel Determination, Councillor Terrett versus Councillor Lambert.
And I have 5.3 enclosed council action items on page 11, and I think I'm 5.2, aren't I, Councillor
5.5 as
Lambert?
well, I think, in open.
5.1, they're together, are they?
5.5.
5.5 in one, in open,
Thank you.
yes, and 5.3 enclosed for Councillor Andrews. Thank you. Okay, confirmation of our ordinary meeting, Monday the 17th of November. I'll move around a second, please, for those minutes.
I'll
Councillor Andrews and Councillor Archer. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. The date of the next council meeting is Monday, the 19th of January.
And I'll just let the people know that we haven't got a workshop in January, so
No workshop. Motion on notice by a councillor. There is a motion on notice, an officer's recommendation to support Councillor Terrett's recommendations. Councillor Terrett, do you want to wish to move the motion?
Yes, I'd like to move the motion as written, that the council request that officers prepare a report for council that addresses the following. A, the current artificial intelligence used in local government. Examine if any, feasibility opportunities that are available or will be certainly available to enable Northern Midlands Council to benefit from its use. Make recommendations how AI can improve the efficiency of council.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Brooks, do you wish to speak to your motion, Councillor Terrett?
Yes, I would just very quickly. AI is a new frontier, and whilst many people may be maybe not too aware of it or not familiar, this will allow the next generation of providing services to the general community. Whilst the thing about AI is it makes decisions, actions, without having to be told, and multi-step reasoning in giving advice and so forth. Throughout Australia, there are councils that are now using AI, and as close to the West Tamar Council is looking at doing their strategic planning using AI. And that was something that was demonstrated at the local government conference. But this goes way beyond just computers assisting. This does practical things. And for example, Bush Heritage Australia has smart traps to catch feral cats in their traps. The AI identifies the cat that goes into the trap. If it's a possum or a Tasmanian devil, it doesn't shut. It's a cat, it's closed, and it's caught. These are that's a practical usage. In planning and development, it allows people to go into the council's website in New South Wales and Victoria using AI to ask questions and provide checklists of what's needed should a development to go ahead. In customer service, it can respond to customer service requests 24-hour a day, 7 days a week, and provide responses for community inquiries. Infrastructure and assets. We see asset maintenance, classification, the condition of our various safety areas, what roads need to be done. These are expanding things that we as a council can use to improve the way that we do things. And it means that there are savings and long-term benefits for the community. We'll get better services, we'll get better productivity using the tools that are out there at the moment. I know that council has been looking at these things, but I think also being at the forefront of AI will assist council to improve and maybe address some of those things which we maybe be struggling, and work with other councils in our region to look at effective ways of artificial intelligence and how we can get better service from that.
Councillor Brooks, do you wish to speak?
No. Councillor
Anyone else wish to? Councillor Adams.
I think it's a good idea to bring a report to council. AI is becoming a reality, but we need good policy to make for our staff and also for councillors' use. There could be a lot of opportunity in asset management, especially, and I'm sure there are programs around those things. But it's not a perfect tool, and it needs to have good safeguards around it and whatever to make it happen. But if the local government association is working towards goals on this, that's very good, and I'm sure our council can come up with a paper or a policy document for the future.
Councillor Andrews.
I'm not sure whether we need this motion. I can't, of course, find it in the annual report because I want to find it, but I think that probably the Acting General Manager could give us a report already on what Council's doing to embrace AI and how we're using it already. and this motion of councillor Terrett's will not be needed because we've already started embracing the new way of things.
A report's not going to hurt, I suppose. Is that not for me to say?
No, I'm happy to do a report. Obviously, I'm working with the other general managers across the north and looking at ways and means that we can resource share and look at that. So I'm happy to do a report.
Yes, I'd just like to make the point because I think that we don't often give council staff credit for being ahead of the game. And one of the things that Northern Midlands Council is known for is that we're innovative and we're ahead of the game. And in this situation, we're already on to it. So if everybody wants to do a report, that's fine, but I think we should note that our council staff are already way ahead of us.
And you'll find a lot of these reports have already been run through AI.
And we have facial recognition to even get into the computers. Councillor Archer.
Look, I support the report, but I'd just like to see limited resources put into it because obviously I'm happy to hear the general managers working with other general managers. This should be a combined process through the GAT and councils. It shouldn't be each individual council going off in their own report and spending hours and time and money doing it. It should be a combined approach where all councils are on the same level playing field in regards to this. The laws are in the Local Government Act cover everybody, every council, so I'd just like to see a report, but not a huge amount of expense at this stage. Thanks.
Any further comments from anybody? Councillor Terry, do you wish to sum up?
Yeah, just summing up very quickly. AI is going to come and it will affect us. Councillor Andrews says that council has been...
Please be careful what you say, please.
I haven't even said anything yet. Councillor Andrews said it's not required. I'd like to ask him...
Excuse me, point of order. Point of order, that is misquoting me. I didn't say that.
Look,
I didn't say
That's why I'm
that,
saying
Councillor
please
Terry.
be
You are
respectful.
misquoting
I'm
me.
asking Councillor
Just sum up.
Andrews, can she tell us what the
No,
AI thinks
excuse
the
me.
council has been doing?
Councillor Terry, you just sum up your
I
motion,
am
please.
summing up because
That's
she
right.
raised that point that we are, as councillors, we should know as well. Because getting a report...
Point of order.
Yes, point of order.
You heard me ask if the acting general manager could give us a report, verbal report now to tell us what's been going on with AI to date, because it's in the annual report that we're doing a lot using AI at the moment.
All right, we'll go back to Councillor Terry now. Please just sum up your motion.
Look, I think the need for AI and also educating our councillors on AI is essential. It is a way that we can move forward. We can't live in the last century. We have to move forward, and moving forward includes AI in local government.
And I think Councillor Andrews' comments included the fact that we're already doing some of this. So thank you very much. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Councillor, questions on notice? Councillors received? Yes. Oh, yes, we better go to public question time. Paul, that's a good idea. I've got to find it. Hang on.
Chapter 5.4, ma'am.
Yes, it's 10.1. We're starting. We'll be on. Hang on. Council. Oh, that's no, one before that. Sorry.
9.
9. Public questions and statements. So, does any member of the public wish to make a statement or ask a question about anything at all that's not related to the planning item? We do have one planning item, and if you've got a question that's not related to that, now's the time.
Okay.
I just need to state your name and the town you live in.
Good evening, my name is Diana Howard. I live here in Longford, and I wish to ask you to amend what you said about puppy dogs and not being allowed in at Ernest and Ernesto. I think that if the owner of the building and the owner of the shop says it's okay, we should be able to take in our puppies in. My puppy is, speaking for myself, my puppy is a very well-behaved puppy and does not cause any ruckus, and he sits and minds his own business. other than when he introduces himself. But he is a good dog. He's well behaved, and I don't see why now he is and I basically are stopped from going to Ernest and Ernesto. Isn't it the correct thing to encourage local business rather than discourage it? Because that's what's happened now. But yes, I'm just passionate about my little fellow. He's a beautiful boy, and he's an extremely well-behaved puppy. And I don't see why he should be excluded from somewhere where he has been invited in because of his well-behaved, his behaviour being very good. And that I feel it was a bit of a sad state of affairs when I heard that puppies weren't allowed into Ernest and Ernesto anymore. I haven't had any talk with Philippe Pilioris, who owns Ernest and Ernesto. I'm doing this off my own back.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Follow up on that?
Yes, I can follow up on that. Well, I can double check that, but my understanding is under the Dog Control Act, dogs are not allowed in shops. But we will double check and make sure that that's the case.
Yeah, thank you so much.
It's a good money mistake.
Yeah. And you've got Mrs. Hillis.
Yes, I've got her, yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. Right. Yes.
Point of clarification, is that just food shops, like Councillor Adams just said about Bunnings? So we're just talking about any food shops, or is this shops in general?
My understanding is it's shops, so whether they've got a special agreement, I don't know, but we will double check and come back.
Yeah. Find out what's allowed and what's not allowed.
Permission.
This is the first I've heard of it. So how did it come about though?
It came about from a complaint and that we checked, and under the Dog Control Act, we believe that it says that it shouldn't be in shops. Dogs shouldn't be in shops.
Why are we going back investigating it then if you've already checked it out?
Well, we just want to double check that it makes sure it's for all shops and not just some shops. And
Particularly if the proprietor says it's okay. We need to make sure what we're doing.
I will double check it.
You might want to look at the policy.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Legislation that we're following.
It's legislation we have to follow, but we'll make sure we're doing the correct thing.
I mean, they're getting more and more.
Is there any other member of the public who would like to ask a question or make a statement about something that's not related to the planning item? No? Okay, we'll move into planning now. Thank you for your question. Okay, a recommendation to move into planning, Councillor Lambert and Councillor Adams. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Now, is there anybody in the members of the public that would like to make a representation to the single dwelling 2A Bridge Street, Campbelltown? No one wishes to make comment? No, that's fine. Okay. Planning 1 is a single dwelling 2A Bridge Street, Campbelltown. We have a recommendation that the application. Sorry, that's Ross. What am I?
Ross.
Oh, it is Ross too, and it's got Campbelltown. And I got confused when I was reading it, yes, and the maps weren't right, so I did a double check. Yes.
It's
that's
Ross
right.
in the agenda,
It's
in
Ross
the
the agenda.
recommendation.
That's right. So it needs to be Ross. Yes. And sorry, just now I'm just reading what's in front of me. Okay, the application and the actual recommendation is correct. That the planning 25-0165 to develop and use the land at 2A Bridge Street, Ross, for a single dwelling be approved subject to conditions, and the conditions are all outlined there. Can I have a mover and a seconder for a motion, please? Councillor Adams. Councillor Adams. Can I have a seconder? Councillor Terrett seconding. Councillor Adams, do you wish to speak to it?
No, I think it's straightforward. So it's the issue on, it's close to the river. Anybody that builds close to a river, but there's been houses there since the convict era and the 1830s, I would think. So, this is a rock and someone's going to build a house.
Councillor Terrett, do you wish to speak?
I think the fact it is next to a river, people should be aware that you could be flooded, and you make those provisions in the construction stage.
Yes. Any further discussion? No, I'll put the recommendation. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. We can move out of planning now.
Move.
Councillor Adams and Councillor Lambert. All those in favour? Against? Carried. So we'll go back to 5.4. Councillor questions on notice. A recommendation that we receive the questions on notice and note the answers provided. Councillor Goss is moving, and Councillor, who's seconding, please? Councillor Archer. Good night.
Thank you. Happy to.
Pleasure. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Okay, 5.5 is the Code of Conduct Panel determination.
Time or?
Yes, we will do one at a time. So, which is, the first one's against Councillor Andrews.
Yeah, so it's just going out the room.
Yes.
What's the procedure?
Wait a minute, Councillor Adams. There's no actual,
No, just, we resolved to receive.
Note them or we
Well, I don't think we should the other time.
Resolved.
resolve?
the decision. Oh, there's no, hang on, I'll have a look at those.
Oh, you're putting one in now?
Want me to take it?
Well, we can't put it in if it wasn't there before, so,
I think you just resolved to receive, that's what we've done every other time.
okay. Okay, all right, okay.
I'll move to resolve.
Nothing we can do about it, so.
Okay. All right, there's nothing we can do about it. No, that's true. Okay, so we'll, beg your
We're
pardon?
doing them individually, yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. So now we'll ask Councillor Andrews to come back and, yes. Oh, I'm trying to move that one and I can't move it. Would it work?
Oh.
Okay, Councillor Andrews is back in the room and we're just resolved to accept the determination report. And we don't need a mover and a seconder. That's it. So we get the other two councillors back. Thank you. Thanks, Brandy.
To accept. Resolved for Councillor Lambert, we resolved to accept.
Oh.
Okay, it's now number 6.
Yes. Okay, council committees, confirmation of minutes. The recommendation is that the following minutes of meetings of council committees be received. Can we have a mover and a seconder to receive those, please? Councillor Archer and Councillor Lambert. All those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried. Here we go. Right. There are no motions needed. No. Information items. A motion there that the information items be received. Councillor Andrews and Councillor Lambert. Any questions, queries from anybody? Councillor Brooks?
Just on the Laycock Street Park, is that park going to be, is that closed or open, or what's the status on it? And if it is closed, when will it be open, or is it going to get closed permanently? Just some status on it.
Well, the park itself is open, but I'll just ask the works manager if the toilet block is back open. We did open it, but then it was vandalised again. I'm not exactly sure whether he's opened it again or...
Yeah, the toilet block is open. The baby change table's been broken off for the third time, so council's not going to replace it at this stage, so, but the toilet is open for public to use.
And have we got sufficient cameras there to identify anyone that is involved in the vandalism? Are the cameras there sufficient enough to identify the people?
The cameras on the outside are, obviously we're not allowed to put CCTV cameras inside.
And they identified.
They were identified before.
Yeah,
Oh, no, they were.
yes, so they were sufficient to identify culprits. Any further questions about the information items? I'll put the recommendation. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Now we move to 13.1. Yes. Development Services Monthly Report, and the recommendation is that the report be noted. So I'll move and second, then you can ask questions. Councillor Terrett. Yep, and who was second? Councillor Lambert, sorry. Okay, cool. Any questions? Yes, Councillor Goss.
I just want a minute to see, I'm just a bit lost, sorry.
Page 62. It's Development Services Reports. It's after planning.
Number 13.
Yeah, number 13.
Here's attachment. So this, what page are we on?
62 on the agenda.
62?
Yes.
Can I just have a minute, please?
Yes, you can.
Catch up, so I'm not really sure. Sorry, I've got to be.
Sorry, no, it's all right. We've jumped around a bit.
It was 8.1, 8.2, etc.
Yes.
Have their own numbers, but they're actually information items.
But the other things in between this page and 62 we haven't done yet. We're going back.
A whole lot of planning. We've done it all now.
What about things like 8.15? That part of the information.
That's in the information items.
Thank you for that. 8.16. Okay, yeah, thank you. That's why I'm a bit lost. Sorry.
That's all right.
Thank you.
And do you have any questions about the monthly report?
I don't have any questions about it.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Okay, 13.2, single startup permit consultation submission. There's a recommendation there that council endorse the attached submission relating to the single startup permit and submit to the Department of State Growth within the consultation period. A mover and a seconder, then you can discuss it.
Yeah.
Councillor Adams?
Yeah, I'll move that, yeah, I think,
And Councillor Goss?
you're right. I
Coun-
think there's,
Councillor Adams?
thank you, Mayor. I think the department is, partnering the local government association is doing some work in this. So I think there may be some pluses, but there's also some dangers. So you want to be operating in some positive way. And somebody just starts up something, and I don't know what health and safety and all those issues are about, and building permits, the size, safety, going in and out, all these things. But I think it's also geared towards maybe home, working from people running businesses from their home and their garages. And okay, that's all right, but there's also some very big issues in that regard with noise and how people work, what times they work, people visiting or buying from there, that sort of thing. And it's outside of how we set up a Main Street shopping complex and our complexes. So it needs a fair bit of consideration. And
I'll let you know the Northern Midlands Business Association's been in the background lobbying for various things as well. Any further discussion? Councillor Goss, did you wish to speak?
Yeah, I just wondered about things like car parking. That's something that with businesses starting up, I just wouldn't like to see some of those things overlooked. Often when we've got councils involved in those decisions, we always look at that type of stuff to make sure the car parking is adequate for what they're going to do. And there has been cases in the past where we've had businesses go up without car parking, and it makes it very hard for the community areas. So I think it's something that really needs to be looked at there, because in our main streets of our townships, even though some of the townships are only smaller townships, the parking is pretty at premium a lot of times because there's nowhere to park. In the areas where where you need to park. There's plenty of places you can park which are nowhere near those areas, but not in those areas. So I think that's something we need to make sure that happens. And I just think car parking is something they definitely need to do. That's access for people coming to the businesses. I think that's probably really important. Thank you.
Councillor Andrews.
I think the officer's comments sort of say it all really, and that reflects the tone of their submission, and it's good submission.
Councillor Lambert.
Yes, I'd just like to congratulate the staff on the submission. I think it's a really well worded submission. It's got some great points there. So thank you for that work that you've done there, because it really shows, I think, some deficiencies in what they're looking at doing at this point. So hopefully they'll listen to you. Thank you.
Okay, no further discussion. I'll put the recommendation. All those in favour? Against? Carried. 13.3, fee schedule review, planning and engineering. And we have a recommendation there that the 2025.
It's a small amendment if you'd like to look at the screen.
Oh, okay, right, sorry. I think part of it's the amendment. All the blue? Oh, the council endorsed the 2025, 2026 fees and charges be amended, and that they be amended as follows. That's the only change. Right.
That's just me.
Yes,
Literally, sorry.
that's fine, that's fine. Okay, mover and a seconder, then you can discuss it. Councillor Goss? Councillor Archer? Councillor Goss, do you wish to speak to it?
Yeah, I did bring this up in the budget, Tom, about our fees and for planning, engineering and building, those type of things. I brought it up then. It's great to see we've got a report on it, and it has included some increase in costs and those, but I think it's really important. I don't think we're anywhere near full cost recovery, even with these this document. We're a long way off it, and it's something that we will need to work on. We all know we've got a deficit budget, and these things will all help a little bit somewhere. We have a lot of costs with planning and engineering, and we do need to recoup as much as we possibly can. So thanks for the report, and we'll support it.
Councillor Archer?
Yes, I'd just like to say that basically I think we heard in the workshop earlier, there's no perfect solution in regards to discussions between planners and developers. An upfront cost can deter people from developing, but of course you've got to follow through on procedures. Things come up without knowledge. I think ideally I agree with Councillor Goss that we do have to raise our costs to reflect the work to some degree, but I don't think we could ever expect full cost recovery, because I think, for a lot of people, small people who have a house, the cost is significant, whereas obviously the larger scale developments, it's not so significant. So I think we've got to keep an eye on it. I think the process is more probably critical than the actual cost of some of these things, and making sure that people understand the process. And I think that would make it easier for a lot of them. They just don't realise the complications these days in building, planning and all these things we do.
Councillor Andrews?
I find it very difficult to vote in favour of this motion unless I can be assured that our small people are not going to be caught up in all this. And when I'm talking about small people, I mean individual house builders and people who want to do renovations. We talked about it in workshop. I would not like to see those people being caught up in this reasonably significant price rise.
Yeah, planner would like to make comment.
Yes, in the recommendations for the additions of secondary amendment fees and third amendments to the same application, in my experience, majority of the mum and dad developers would, going through the planning application stage, when they lodge an application for a building application, find that they need to amend their planning application, they'll be captured in the current fees and schedules. They shouldn't be captured in these second or third. This is for I suppose you could call it repeat offenders, where it's a constant change of mind that requires the same level of administration, processing, same level of notification to people of determination, same level of that sort of thing. So, and it's for those sorts of circumstances which I think we're envisaging to capture, where, for instance, you might have, say, like a subdivision, and it might be several minor amendments to a subdivision that involves notifying 30 plus neighbours and multiple authorities and things like that that we're looking to deter through this initiation of those fees.
Is there any way of giving some sort of assurance to what?
We'll turn it around. Is there another way to deter the developers who've developed the habit of coming back and back and back than charging everybody an increased fee?
Charge them like lawyers.
Is there another way to do it?
We could say at time, we don't have to take an amendment to an application.
Well, we have to consider one, but there are some circumstances where if the change is quite minor, like very minuscule, we use our discretion to apply that the general condition that the plans are generally in accordance. So say there is, a half a metre difference to something that's not going to encroach closer to a setback, say it's set back further, we may accept that as just being generally in accordance and not require a minor amendment. We do use our discretion in those circumstances. It's more where there's a potential for an impact that could detriment someone that we do apply the letter of the law or the letter of the legislation to following that process with the application. And it's more for that notification process to the adjoining neighbours that it's changed from what you first reviewed.
Councillor Adams and then Councillor Terry.
Summing up.
No, sorry. Oh, beg your pardon. No, Councillor Goss moved it.
Okay.
Yes, okay.
Well, no, small jobs also cost money, and you can't get away from that. And there's and the bigger the job, the cost comes down. But we're trying to save small schools, so there's a cost to running something which you can't get away from. So I guess it's as long as the proportion that's been done, I sort of support that concept.
Councillor Terry.
Yeah, just clarifying the commencement date for these new fees. Given that people would be budgeting for their construction at this stage using existing fees, whether there is a sunset clause or something that means that these won't come in until the 1st of January or the 1st of February. So I need clarification on that, but I also have a point.
My intent is that they become live as of if it's
Not
supported.
tonight.
Yeah.
We could put a date.
But there's no problem with the date. Yeah. If
No, I
council
just
would like
hadn't
to, council would like to add it, there's no problem with the date. Makes it clear to everybody, I think. And it would be for applications after that date. Yeah.
So 1st of January next year. But the mover and seconder, Councillor Goss and Councillor Archer, do you wish to put in a date?
I support a date. I think it's Terry says it's only first, so I would suggest 1st of January, from the 1st of January.
Okay, so we make that as the bottom one. Fees applicable from the 1st of January 2026. Councillor Lambert.
Just on that, we will need to ensure that we advertise, if this gets passed tonight, that we advertise this quite widely, because we're in December, January, that's not a lot of time to get that message out to our developers that things are changing. And I'm not sure that that's a fair amount of time, to be honest, to give them over the Christmas break, because people, I just don't think that's a reasonable expectation at this stage of the year.
Could I ask a question?
Yes, Councillor Adams.
How much notice does the contractors give council when they're increasing their fees or charges?
Not a lot, but I guess council can make any date and can set any fee at any time. However, I just note that normally we adjust our fees and charges at 1st of July each year. So that's when people are expecting them to change, but these are new charges, they're not like a review of other charges.
Councillor Lambert.
Well, I think in light of what Ms Britton's just said, perhaps the 1st of July would be appropriate as a lead-in time for that information to get out there. I just don't think it's fair, and I'll vote against it if we have the January. It's not fair. People are away on holidays, builders have felt. That's my opinion. I just think that it's a little bit shorter time frame for our staff to get the message out.
Right, now I'm going to ask the mover and the seconder what
What about
Halfway, we're at the 1st of March then.
Oh, we'll go the 1st of March.
I think July's a bit out there, that's too far.
Bit far out.
First
What
of
about the
March.
mover?
I'm happy with the 1st of January. I'm happy with that, but I don't mind 1st of March. I'm just happy to move on.
1st of March.
1st of March, and you'll go with the 1st of March? Right, any further discussion? Councillor Terrett.
Just in relation to the need for us to increase our fees for development and planning really goes back to a fundamental about the structure of fees and charges for planning. The state is the only state now that doesn't have development contribution fees and that come into play. The state government had promised to bring in development charges and development contribution charges, but we've seen nothing from this government. Development contribution charges is an important thing that we have to pay for a lot of the work.
Just note that that's a separate item to this, what you're discussing now is actually separate to this, and there's a lot of lobbying going on in that space, which you know.
Yeah,
to have that happen.
that has an impact on
It
why
does.
we need to raise this money, because we have to build roundabouts, we have to do curb and guttering, and we don't always collect enough, particularly in relation to subdivisions and areas such as Northern Midlands in the peri-urban area where we're getting increasing development. I'll be supporting this motion because I don't like fees and charges increasing, but we're left with a situation where the government is forcing us to increase fees because of their failure to act.
Councillor Goss, would you like to sum up?
Yeah, just the only thing, this is one area I think where the planning part, which AI could really help the community with, if there was some way that we could get planning information out of AI for people before they start, because a lot of people make their mistakes in planning before they even go to someone to design and build things like that. So I really think it'd be a really good thing to do. This, have some stuff in AI about planning stuff. For example, I had a guy from Cressy Wing last week. He wanted to about how big a shed he can put on his rural land. Well, I didn't know. Wouldn't it be great if we had a AI program where you go and get the information really quickly? So.
All right, I'll put the recommendation. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Councillor Andrews is against. The motion's carried. 14.1, a policy update.
I'll move the recommendation.
Oh, wait a minute, we've got that.
On overhanging
Slowly,
vegetation, hedges and trees.
Yes, it's a policy update, overhanging trees. For those listening, I'll just read out the recommendation. The council endorses and accepts the amendments to the overhanging tree policy as per the attached proposed amendments, and that the policy name is now overhanging trees, vegetation and hedges policy. And Councillor Adams is moving.
I second that
And
motion.
Councillor Terrett is seconding.
I think that is the amendment, that we're adding vegetation and hedges policy to our policy, so, because they're not trees. And I've been through the definition of what a tree is once, and that was a long process. And olive trees aren't really trees.
So, Councillor Adams, is that all you wish to say? Right. Councillor Terrett.
Just like to, this is becoming an increasing problem, and with spring and the growth of trees, they're overhanging to footpaths in some areas, and I'll name Evandale, where the footpaths aren't very wide. And as trees grow, forces people, particularly if you're walking with children or prams, onto the road because you haven't cut back your trees. It's lovely having hedges on the side, on your property. But if you're going to have a hedge, you have a responsibility to cut it back. And this, I hope, will actually mean that where we do have problems of people cutting back hedges, we do have a bit more power to do that.
Councillor Andrews.
Just to be a little bit mischievous, there's always two sides to the story, and one of the things that attracts a lot of people to Northern Midlands towns are the beautiful gardens and the leafy aspect of our towns, but we must have neat trees and hedges.
If I sum up.
No, Councillor Goss first.
Just one other thing I'd just like to bring up in this. They're not probably really mentioned here, but the thing I think is really important in our community is that out in our rural areas where the farmers are planting plantings out right next to the sides of the road. I think that's something should be in our policy, that they can't plant within 20 metres of the road edge. To give an example, we've got trees which are existing ones we have to pull down. The one along the Campbelltown Road, it costs us hundreds and hundreds of thousands to do. We're looking at another one at Perth that's going to cost money as well. There's one along the Woolmers Road, which is will be on the list pretty soon. And I think we ought to have something in our policy to get so they don't plant so close to the road, because that their roots interfere with the road surface. And if you go along Woolmers Road and you want to see how much they interfere, that's what it's like. You can't go along Campbelltown Road anymore because they're gone and we dug it up and we spent all that money to fix it. But that's something I'd like to see happen. So whether that could be, I'm not sure how we would do that, but whether that could be included in this, I think it should be in this particular, because the trees is in this area, but it should be something in there about plantations beside our roadways in the northern Midlands.
In relation to that, it's probably the type of tree, because the pine trees are
Yeah,
causing the most
the
trouble.
workspace might want to make a comment on that.
Well, I know under the Roads and Jetties Act, and this is what happened on Macquarie Road, that it's classed as a native tree. It's what's native to the area. So the trees down there were native, they've been planted, and so that's how it got away with it in court of law. So how we could stop any farmer from planting on their properties, when the trees come over is when it's their responsibility. And we have got a few farmers down there who have gone along and cut all the limbs off, but how do we set aside that we can force them to plant away? I'm not too sure.
We lost in the court before with the one at Campbelltown.
But we haven't got a policy about it though. We had a policy, if we made a policy for plantations next to the road, then we could do something about it. But we have no policy, so that's why it needs to be in somewhere like this.
I think the Roads and Jetties Act, that was part of that. That's where we lost them.
Maybe we can come back
Yeah.
and have a look at that.
It's more than just.
Pass this one.
Pass this one, and maybe we have a different policy for that.
It's more than just. It's not so much the overhanging branches on the highway or the roadway. It's the roots which are going under the road, which are damaging our road surface area, and that's and they're not safe. They're dangerous. And they're the thing that's most dangerous, more than the overhanging branches.
Yes. Councillor Adams, would you like to sum up?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I think from the issue of just the discussion we've just had, I think we need a good neighbours policy with the farmers union up the road here. We need to go and have a talk and see if we can get an agreement about those things. With the history of how they're doing it, and Woolmers is going to be, you come drive Woolmers with a trailer on, empty. There's a fair bit of bouncing, and I don't think it'll be long before there'll be a necessity to react there. So I think it's a good discussion we have, but I think there's ways that we can go about it. And the trees that are being planted now are probably going to be a bit different than they were 100 years ago.
Okay, I'll put that recommendation. All those in favour? Aye. Against? Motion's carried. Silence. Let's get another one up. Oh, yes,
I'm
yes,
just
yes,
coming
Councillor,
back in.
yes, we'll get another one. Okay, 14.2, Cressy Childcare, Bartholomew Park, the draft master plan. And there's a recommendation that we accept in principle the draft master plan for Cressy Childcare expansion and Bartholomew Park upgrade, and approve its release for public consultation. We consider funding components of the master plan in future council budget deliberations, and request council officers seek external grant opportunities to support implementation, and request council officers to prepare a stage implementation plan for the project. Councillor Andrews is moving. Councillor Terrett seconding. Councillor Andrews.
I'm really pleased to see this here. I know that from talking to people in the Cressy area that there's a huge demand for more childcare at Cressy. So council's responding, so that's excellent. And the plans look really good. Yeah.
Councillor Terrett.
Yeah, look, I think having some more childcare, it's councils providing the service. It'd be nice to see the private sector also providing the service. Of course, has a lot of imposts onto our own budget as such, but this is a facility that has been delivering for Cressy. The demand for young families is increasing, and expansion of that facility, I think, is going to be a very good facility for Cressy.
Councillor Lambert.
Yes, I fully endorse the in-principle draft master plan for Cressy. It is similar, well, I presume it's a similar thing to what we've done at Perth. The demand was there, we met that demand. We exceeded the demand before we'd finished that project, had to expand it again. I can see that this will be in demand, and I hope we'll be able to get the funds over time to do that staged implementation. And I'm sure the Cressy community will be very pleased to have this facility, and it'll be well utilised. My question would be, talks about once we've endorsed the in-principle draft master plan, that we will forward it to the district committee for comment and the community, the broader public. My question is what steps will be taken to enact that public consultation? So what are we planning to do as part of that public consultation?
We haven't finalised that at this stage, but obviously we'll go to the local district committee, we'll advertise it on Facebook and our website, and we may have a drop-in centre, but we haven't finalised our plans yet.
I think similar to what we've done in the past, a drop-in session would be really appreciated in Cressy. I'm sure the community would love to come in and have a look at it, be able to talk to someone about it, ask questions, clarify things. I think that would be very valuable.
Councillor Adams.
This is a very good opportunity. It really is about the economic development of the region as well, and childcare is very important. There's a lot of work that's going on out there in agriculture, and there's also processing. We've got the fish on the river. There's also the meatworks at Cressy, seed production, seed processing, and a lot of other activity going on out there where childcare is needed, and probably needed at certain times as well. And we've always tried to make childcare work a little differently than it does in the city, in the country areas. So the economic development goes hand in hand with these things, and we don't have such a good bead on that as we could do, I don't think, in this council, but that's something for the future. So I certainly support these opportunities.
Any further discussion? Councillor Goss.
Yeah, just with the master plan, I'm a little bit concerned about the car parking which is on the plan. It's just that it comes straight out onto the road opposite the shop. So it's it's a tight area to park there at front of the shop. All those areas both sides of the roads are parked, and that car park's going out into that. So that concerns me a bit. I just wondered whether access off Church Street would be much better into and the car parking being the existing play centre area they're going to pull out the equipment that's in at the moment, the baby little kids equipment in that area might be a better place for car parking. So they've got access off Church Street. I think it'd be much safer to enter and exit off Church Street and off that main street. Only because of the amount of traffic that goes to the shop, but hopefully that'll come out in the recommendation. That's one area that I do think needs to probably be looked at if we can do that. The other thing was that I just wanted to mention that I know the community needs a childcare facility enlarged because we've got a lot of families and young people there, but we've got to remember we have a deficit in our budget. It's something else we take on in our budget. It's going to be an operational loss for us. So it's going to be extra money we have to find in the future. We've got no plan yet for a business case for it about how much it's going to cost us. And I think that's something we need to do as council. Before we go too far with this, we need to work out how much it's going to cost us and how much we're going to have to put in from Makepar's money to support this in the future. And I think that's some due diligence we need to do before we get to the next step. So getting a business case forward and the cost and what's going to upset our budget with. We need to know that before we, and also what the community thinks about the plan. Thank you.
Covered in the recommendation. Yeah. Okay, I'll put the recommendation. All those in favour? Okay, oh, councillor Andrews, sorry, I didn't ask, did you want to sum up?
No, it's fine.
Okay, sorry. All those in favour? Against? Motion's carried. Now, we've only got 2 more to go. It is meal time, but do we want to get through those 2 so the people who are listening can?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so 15.1 is a policy review, risk management policy and framework, code of tendering and procurement. And our recommendation is that council endorse the following reviewed policies: risk management policy and framework, code of tendering and procurement. So mover and a seconder, councillor Terrett and councillor Archer. Councillor Terrett, do you wish to speak to it?
It's straightforward.
Yes. Councillor Archer, do you wish to speak? Any comments from anybody else? I'll put the recommendation. All those in favour? Against? Carried. And the last one is Campbelltown additional electric vehicle charging. Let's find it. There we go. And we have a recommendation that council approve in principle the upgrade and expansion of the EV charging infrastructure at 3 Commonwealth Lane, Campbelltown, as proposed by EV Networks, and proceed to 1, finalise a lease variation incorporating council's suggested commercial terms, or 2, require EV Networks to undertake public consultation, including engagement with Campbelltown businesses at their cost, and report back to council for all necessary approvals. And 3, and C, so this is in the or, defer commencement of works for 6 months to minimise the disruption during the Main Street works. So we need a recommendation from somebody to move a recommendation. You've got a couple of choices there, or you could move your own. Councillor Goss, which one?
I'd move that we don't support it at this stage.
So require them to undertake the second part of it?
Yeah, that they need to do some community consultation. That's a bit that we need to do most down there.
Yeah.
I'm just really, recently we've taken, that's my motion, I won't talk until we.
Okay. And
do the
that's
seconder and I.
deferring it for 6 months anyway, yes. Councillor Goss, anybody else supporting that motion? Councillor Terrett? Okay, Councillor Goss.
Yeah, I'll just say that in the last, we've just reduced Campbelltown's parking by, I think it's 14 car parks. I'm not sure if that's right, but we'll be correct if that's probably not correct, but 14 car parks. To take another 6 away to this area, I think is probably just a bit, I think we need to get the community's feeling on that, what they feel about it. That's the most important thing. And I couldn't support it because until we get that community feeling on the car parks. And if the community want those car parks and they want them to be EV chargers in there, I definitely think we could we do that. The other thing also that it'd be really good if the company would look at maybe other, instead of taking over council car parks for this type of stuff, look at some own private property which are in the main street, very close to there, which is vacant land, which maybe they can get their own better place where they can have more car parking and more opportunities to expand in the future. But if we've got 6 more car parks now, in 10 years' time, they want another 4 car parks there or another 6 car parks there because they've got all the infrastructure there. I just think that's not the right place to have all this stuff there, and that's why I won't support it.
Mr. Terry.
Look, the need for additional EV charging stations is a very real one as the use of EVs has increased. And disappointingly, we don't seem to be progressing with Ross. So we do need to see where we can put these, and I do like the fact that there could be some other commercial areas, and I'd hope that maybe some of those other commercial sites are also being looked at. But to go for some more public consultation, I think is excellent. We need to talk with the community, the district committee, and people who are directly affected, being the businesses, of how that additional EVs and deferring it whilst the Main Street project's going on, I think is essential. We can't be doing it's very hard with everything going on. We have stage 2 of the Campbelltown streetscape soon to be coming forward, with consultation going on in there as well. I think it's a sensible way of going to do the public consultation to see if we can, what the community thinks.
So is that wording right? It's got there to council approve in principle, then proceed to require them to go for public consultation and defer commencement of any works
6 months.
for 6 months.
I don't support what's on the board there.
No.
I
So
don't
you're
approve.
moving it, so you need
I
to
don't
put
approve
what
in
you want.
principle.
No.
No, it's just B.
Just B, take the A out.
Take A out.
That's right.
Yes.
And C probably, because until they get approvals.
Oh, no, well, I don't know, it's up to the person who put the motion, but I think that's necessary to keep it in there. That we mention the street works and not
Make sure
doing
it's not
anything.
done before that's finished.
And it also makes it very clear to the community
That's right.
with this not
Before
going to
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll leave B in there, yeah.
Leave that one
C
there,
in,
C in.
sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, councillor,
We see to
of any
finalise lease variation. I thought we were just looking at require EV networks, so point 2 and C. Because B is proceed to
Yes.
oh,
a lease variation incorporating council's suggested commercial terms.
know,
We're not doing that, are we?
No.
No,
Aren't we looking at point 2 of B only? and C?
B2 is the first part of it, yeah. Require EV networks to undertake public consultation, including engagement with Campbelltown businesses at their cost, and report back to council for all necessary approvals, and defer commencement of works for 6 months to minimise disruption during Main Street works. Yes,
Take and proceed to.
no, just require, just take, but yeah, take proceed to out. Yeah.
May I ask a
Now,
question?
councillor Goss.
Would that 6 months, should that be after the Main Street works is complete? Because we might be complete in 6 months.
That's true.
Oh.
For 6 months
I
or,
don't think it'll matter because
No, I
we've got to go to the community first.
Well,
Yeah.
we should be complete most of that area,
Hmm,
yeah, main area.
okay.
I'd like to speak on this.
Yes, yes, hang on, councillor Goss, councillor Terrett's next.
look, I think it's...
Oh, you've said did you, sorry, I can't remember.
No, look, I think councillor Goss has raised it. Yes, I did speak because I
Yeah,
said I
it's
did.
all right, I've got you down here. Councillor Adams was next.
The consultation, local consultation, be good. If they're all opposed to it and they won't get more EVs, then, the attitude of any change, and I had people sitting in here saying, don't change anything when we were looking at that, the national highway with cars backing out into the national highway and no changes to take place. So, I mean, EV charging stations are something you want if you think about economic activity in your towns and your regions, and we can defer this for 6 months. No problem with that because of the roadworks that are being done. But, they're an essential part of the economic development of the areas, and if you haven't got them, you're going to lose.
Councillor Lambert.
Yeah, I'll support the motion. I think that's a smart way for us to go as a council, to be going back to our community and to be having EV networks go back to the community to find out their views on things, because there has been a lot of controversy about potential loss of parking spaces, etc. And of course, the community needs to weigh that up against the potential $600,000 worth of on-site improvements, which would then bring a boost, I would imagine, to economic activity in that area. So it might be just the boost that they need after the Main Street works, which has been disrupting for a lot of the businesses there. That might be a boost that they need. So, but absolutely, back to the community for their input on this is really important.
Councillor Archer.
Look, I agree, I'll support the motion, but I think this is a murky area of private development, council responsibilities, and also I think, yes, development is needed on our major roads. I would like to think that the RACT could have a policy here on how councils should operate, because we've just obviously had a situation in Ross where a development that probably should have gone ahead has failed, so we don't want to get to the situation where all our towns are in the same situation. So I'd like to see some consultation, not only with the community, but also the business sector, especially the RACT in regards to the policy statewide. So all councils are on a similar kind of situation, and that drivers have access to these things right around the state. So yeah, I support the motion.
So when you're speaking statewide, you want to word up a motion to Legat?
Well, I think we need to have a statewide. I mean, it's not a good having 7 or 8 in North Midlands and then someone gets to another council and they've got it should be a statewide policy. But also private operation, just like a service station. People put service stations in because they were needed and they made money out of them. So there should be some private involvement as well, which means that undertaking public consultation is probably a bit negative for a company involved in this kind of thing, I would suggest.
Councillor Goss, do you wish to sum up?
Yeah, just that definitely the EV charging stations are really important, but the voice of the community is really important to us as well. And so I think that's what we really have to do. I think the best thing we could possibly, if we could get something where one of the businesses down there would make some of their ground available and put these EV charging stations behind the business where people could go there and then use their businesses. That'd be the best win-win for us as the council and for the community. But there is ground available behind the premises there, which are not full up with car parks all the time, people parking there, and I think there'd be plenty of opportunities there. So it'd be so great to have some connections for this company with some of those local business operations which have got opportunity to develop the back of their businesses.
I'll put the recommendation now. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Okay, we're going to break for our meal break now and come back to be in closed council.